What is going on, guys? Good afternoon. We just got off of work. We are headed over to the shop today. It's actually super windy, back to being cold, and it started snowing again today, which is just not acceptable. I do not approve of this nonsense weather. We're supposed to be having springtime weather, and we're still in winter mode, and I'm not happy about it. All right, so we have made it to the shop. We have been here tinkering around for a little while. You can see that we are working on the first gen here. I pulled the dash back apart just to double check our wiring for our back pressure gauge. I was actually meaning to call ISPRO this afternoon, but I just wanted to get the dash apart. I wanted to double check my wiring just in case they want me to troubleshoot anything before they either send us out a new gauge or a new sensor, whatever it may be. But I did go through the motions, check our wiring. Everything looks good there, so I am hopefully going to call them tomorrow. Honestly, the first time I've ever had problem with ISPRO gauges, and I'm hoping that the customer service is flawless and that we get some new parts on the way and that it's not really a big holdup as far as convincing them that it's not working because of a product failure. So hopefully that goes smoothly. I'll keep you guys updated. But I think what we're gonna do, and we are running a little bit short on time this evening. I gotta be up like insanely early for work tomorrow, so I don't wanna be up crazy late, which I probably will be anyway. But what we're gonna do is, I think we're just gonna pull this turbo off. What my plan was, I was gonna try and get to see if this turbo worked, dyno that, and then pull it off and then put our new one on it and then have some comparison. But the longer I tend to get impatient, and we're stalled on this project, so what better time to just jump to that, maybe get at least get it started, pulling that other turbo off and swap. I guess the whole reasoning behind my thinking now is, let's just say this turbo is better, not better. This is such a Frankenstein turbo that you would never order this thing. It would never be a online, let's go get the same turbo as this. It's a Frankenstein custom thing put together, and it's not something that I would recommend even putting on your truck. So even if it did, what dyno results would that yield? I mean, like, what? Oh my gosh, there's no decent information that could really come from this charger because it's something you'd never use. So anyway, let's just go and get this thing yanked off. We're gonna really not a whole lot to it. We're gonna disconnect the charge pipe, the hood stack, get the oil and the feed drain off. We're gonna take the compressor cover off, and then we'll have our housing bolts here. So if you guys are unaware, I got the new turbo over here. We're actually going to take the compressor cover off of this one. Slightly different style. That other one uses V-bands to hold everything together. A lot of these S300 turbos use these. Kind of see I've already got them a little loose. They kind of just hold the housing to the backside of the cartridge here. So if you're going to take off or loosen or adjust your compressor housing, basically have to loosen all those series of bolts down there. We're just going to completely remove it so we have a little bit better access to our exhaust flange bolts here, our studs. We also might give it a little quickie paint job while it's off. But anyway, we're going to start with the removal of the old turbo first and then see where we're headed. Really wanted to double check my wiring tonight. That was the main focus, just to know when I call them tomorrow. There she is, the new turbo, loosely kind of set in there, in place. Got a new exhaust manifold gasket. The oil drain, I'll put a new gasket on as well. That's just kind of hanging out down there for now. I do actually have the correct fitting for our oil feed. That's I think it's a 1/4 NPT to number 4 line that we're using now. Only crappy kind of thing, which nothing a welder can't fix, is this is for the 3rd time using a different exhaust flange. The HE351, the Turbonetics, and now this just normal, this is what would consider normal S300 outlet on the backside there. So we might actually have to either cut, chop, modify, or just make another hood stack, but we have plenty of practice. We have the welder, we can at least tack everything up, get that thing fired up. But that is probably where we're going to end as far as progress goes tonight. I did find one interesting thing here, and I'm no turbo expert, but you see where it's, you know, nice perfect circle. Boom, what is that? Okay, circle, circle, circle. Ooh, what is that? Yeah, you can kind of see it's not quite supposed to be like that. I don't believe, anyway, unless that's something special, but I don't know if maybe that's I don't know, maybe that's where some of our oil was coming from. I don't know. Anyway, I don't feel like we are really going backwards by throwing this thing on here now. Now, I never really explained to you guys why we went with this size. Before we get into the 2 main reasons why we have this size turbo for this application, I think I might have made a mistake, which I didn't tighten anything up, which is good. But if you remember how I explained they have bolts holding the compressor cover all around there, I'm not sure I can tighten all of them with it on the truck. I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I don't even know if I've ever installed an S300 turbo. Usually everything I've ever dealt with has been smaller or bigger S400 stuff, which all uses V-bands. They're kind of nice. You just loosen up the V-band clamp, adjust everything. These, seeing that they utilize those bolts and those flange and the exhaust manifolds kind of the same way, I actually loosened these up a little bit to clock our drain and feed. I'm not sure if I can get to the compressor bolts all while it's on the truck. Again, I don't know. You guys probably do. But I figured I'd mention that, and I would actually test fit that and then pull it off and then kind of tighten everything up and then put it back on the truck. But as you can see, we got the paint booth set up over here, and we've got our first coat of black going on. I was like, well, we might as well paint this thing if we're going to take it off. So I got that brewing over there. Worst case, we'll pop this off. Not a big deal. And this intercooler pipe should fit perfectly good. We actually have a lot of room in this boot and a lot of room in this boot to actually extend everything if we need to. So I would powder coat all this stuff, but I mean, it's just the first gen. I don't think we need to do that. So anyway, spray can will be good enough. All right, didn't mean to make that super long-winded, but I figured I'd mention that. So anyway, the turbo size that we do have, for those of you guys who do not know, we have a 6368.88. That is the size turbo that we have going on there now, which by all research and thanks to the guys at Power Driven Diesel and talking to a couple other guys, looks like that's going to be a good size that can flow all the power that this VE truck is going to make. So this turbo sizing is capable of hitting peak power out of the fueling that's available on the first gens. The first gens are very fuel limited, so sure, you can go bigger, but air is not really going to be your limitation. Your limitation is going to be how much fuel you can push to it. So that's at least what was explained to me. So this 6368 is probably capable of making, you know, over 500 by itself, but whether the pump is going to allow that, who knows? So we also, and that's really one of the reasons why it fits this application. The main reason why we went with this, and this is from our man Mikey G, I believe it's on his website, it's from Stainless Diesel, but we got it through Mike. It was cheap. This was literally the cheapest turbo that I could find, because I don't know if it's going to stay on the truck when we P-pump swap it. So I got something cheap, I got something that would work. It's not a billet wheel, it is not, you know, an upgraded in any way, shape, and form. This is literally just a box turbo that it was cheap, and if it doesn't work out and we don't want to use it when we P-pump swap it, because then we'll have all of the fuels, then we'll just get rid of it, and I don't feel that bad getting into that. But But second reason is a lot of you guys are commenting, it is pretty much a perfect turbo to do some twins. So I should say compounds, excuse me. But if we decide to go compounds when we P-pump swap it, that is pretty much a very, very good charger to leave on the manifold, put something bigger as the big charger, the atmosphere charger, 475, something like that. So we might actually hold on to it and do a little fabrication and then run some compounds. So we don't know. It's kind of a dual purpose, but really the main thing was it was the cheapest thing I knew would work with the VE setup. So hopefully that makes some sense. We will find out soon enough how it runs, how it dynos. We are still gonna get this thing on the dyno. We're just not gonna do the back and forth thing, the call out challenge. And the other thing, I wanna be ready for the call out challenge if we are going to make it, which I've said this over and over again, depends on baby, but if we can make it, we will make it. I'm gonna lean against the tailgate here, and I want the first gen to be dialed and done. So who knows when the baby comes. And I hate, still, bringing it up, but it's life. This is what I got going on. But if I can't video for a couple days, I need to make sure this thing's done, dialed, and ready to go. So hopefully that story all makes sense. I'm just trying to keep you guys informed as we go along here. So hopefully that made a little bit of sense to you guys. Hopefully I didn't over-explain anything. Hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Injector plugs ordered, overnighted, will be here by Saturday. Coolant pipe ordered, checked off the list, done. Going to be probably made this weekend and then shipped out from California, so that might take a little while. But anyway, we need to go home, eat, shower, get ready for work in a couple hours. Upload this for you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all your support as always. Give me a thumbs up before you leave. I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.